It's the end of May 2025. I'm Chris, and this is the future of photography.
The future of photography.
And we're back. Hi, Adrian.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What have you been up to? I've been gone for like ages, I think.
You have? I've been on holiday. Just got back yesterday. But keen to hear about what you've been doing because you've had your annual big event. And
I did, and I'm keen.
It looks very exciting.
I'm keen to hear what you've been up to. So, at least photographically. So, for those listening, to kick this off, I had this event, this workshop. For those listening, you'll now hear about 2 minutes of music because I'll play a video. For those watching, you'll see a short background behind the scenes thing of the workshop. So 2 minutes. All right. That should give you at least a slight idea what was going on during this week. So, before we dive into that, where have you been?
I have been to Westest Wales.
To what?
To Westest Wales, to the smallest city in Great Britain, which is St. David's, the city of St. David's. It dates back well over 1,000 years, I think maybe nearer 2,000 years. And it has a Norman cathedral, which is nearly 1,000 years old. And it's just a lovely little place. Lots and lots of coastal walks and quite windy, but in a good way. Did some climbing up and down sea cliffs, so fall into the sea and be dashed on the rocks if you drop, sort of thing. Nice. We were roped in and we were very safe. Lots of stuff going on, and doing lots of video rather than photography for that trip. Was really keen to make sure that we got some updates to the family archives. Haven't done family video for a while. My kids are all bigger and different now, so I thought time to update the family view. So yeah, I've had a great time actually. Really nice. Really nice.
Is that place anywhere near Aberystwyth?
It's not too far from Aberystwyth.
I've been to Aberystwyth
You've
several
been
times.
to Aberystwyth. Well, Aberystwyth is on the west coast of Wales
It
in
is.
a place called Cardigan Bay. So if you go south of there
Okay.
to the peninsula at the bottom of Cardigan Bay, that's the peninsula where St David's is. Also places like Fishguard and Milford Haven and Pembrokeshire. Pembrokeshire is the name of the county.
It's such a beautiful part of the world.
It
It's
is.
so
It
nice
is.
there.
It is. It's fantastic, and it's lovely to be by the coast. We didn't spend lots of time on beaches, although we did go to beaches, but it was more about walking and being outdoors and stuff like that,
And family time. Cool.
and family time.
Very
yeah.
cool. Awesome. So I've had my favorite week of the year, like every year for the last 16 years, hands down, absolute favorite. Lots of work before, like the preparations. Some of the preparations need to be done like months ahead of time. During it, lots of teaching, organizing, guiding, and then after it, there's still a lot of buzz. We have a Slack for the group that means we still exchange things, and someone's asking for, you said something on that Wednesday, could you share me the link, that kind of stuff. So this is the workshop that started around 16 years ago around the Happy Shooting podcast, and Boris, co-host, and I, we do this thing together, and it's a week in spring, starts on Monday, ends on Saturday. So 5 days and nights of photography. Some of that really feels like it's happening all around the clock. An old abbey in the Danube Valley, and the Danube Valley Nature Preserve in the south of Germany, and 30 people, including myself and Boris and Monica. So it's a quite sizable group. And for that week, we all live under one roof. The old cells in the abbey are now comfortable guest rooms, and each day we have 3 meals together. They have an excellent kitchen, so it's really good. And then we spend time learning and experimenting and working on projects. And
I always love hearing the stories that come out of this workshop every year. Every year there's something new, there's something exciting. Everybody learns lots and has a fantastic time.
Yes, this year was another. I feel like another step up, another milestone. Was a great group. New people, like a third of them new. So there was a good amount of like fresh faces and people who hadn't been there for 5 or more years. And by the way, some of them have been there for over like 10 or 12 years. So
wow, okay. So for some people, it's as big an annual thing as it is for you.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
People bring interesting things to the workshop. The preparations, people who know the workshop will start preparing for projects.
Okay.
Half a year ahead of time. So
wow.
What we do is we form small groups, 2, 3, 4 people maximum, and then these groups will decide on a project they want to work on during the week. It's not the only thing we do. We also do like regular teaching, classroom style, walking around, looking at, I don't know, experiencing light, finding good light, that kind of stuff. But these groups, some of them bring cool stuff for projects, or they discuss up ahead of time what they want to work on. Some of those groups just form on that Monday and decide and kind of get some inspiration from us or inspire each other to figure out a project. And then they work every day. There's several hours of project time. And then on that Friday, the last evening, the groups present. And they present it not just to the group, but there's a couple of other workshops happening at the same time during that week. There was a wood carving workshop this year with people making sculptures out of pieces of wood. There was a calligraphy workshop. So
I saw that in the video you just showed. Actually,
yes,
so that looks some pretty cool. Pretty, yeah. Well, I don't know what the word is. It's just like very, very, yeah.
So
words fail me. It's amazing. It just looks amazing.
So the guy who does it, Andreas Lux, he's a calligrapher. He's been in that for his entire life. He knows his stuff, and he teaches the group a new, I don't know, medieval font or something, and they work on that for a week. And then he asks during this week. He asked, and we know him because we had several years of our workshop were in parallel to his workshop. So he asked us, "Would you like us to do a little thing for your group?" Like, of course. So he brought out his long brush and colors, and he wrote a Leonard Cohen quote on the asphalt.
Is that where that comes from? I thought it was a good turn of phrase.
And I mean, the phrase is perfect. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. I mean, this from Cohen's Anthem. And he chose that for us because photography, it's about light, right?
Yeah.
So in addition to those groups forming and doing the projects, we also have a lot of like infrastructure. People bring their small postcard printers, like Canon selfies, for example. So we set those up in a corner. This year we had 3 A3 printers.
Okay,
so
that's good. Yeah.
2 of them converted to black and white, like specifically converted. So we had like a print shop pretty much during that week. So one group was concentrating on that to learn about the printing process, to learn about color management, to learn about how to get this from an idea to a final like professional type of print. One group was doing monoprints. It's gel plate printing, where you use acrylic colors and do photo transfers onto the gel plate and then back onto paper with colors. And it's a different artistic expression based on photography usually. Mm-hmm. So
lots of printing. I remember, like the calligraphy looked. Yeah, I know that was a different group, but that looked fantastic. I love the idea of groups getting together and planning projects. I remember last year you told us about a project. I think there was to build a camera obscura inside a trailer. Was it?
Yes.
A small room-sized camera obscura.
Well, it was a room that was big enough for like 4 or 5 people to stand in there.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah.
During taking of the photo. So that was one of the things that the participants bring to the table. One had access to that trailer and they just discussed, should we try that during the week? And that's the week where you can do it, because the Abbey, they do a really good job to keep everything off our minds. We are in this nature preserve, in this area, in the green. The Danube River is pretty close by, and they feed us. They take care of the rooms. They like all you have to do when you're there is go and work on whatever you want to work on. And there's
sounds luxurious,
and hardly any good cell phone coverage, which is really helpful if you want to concentrate on something.
Yes, so, you can't just be disturbed by stuff.
No, right? Not really. So this is what we do there. And this time around, we mixed it up a bit because. So let me ask you, what does a good photo need?
A good photo need? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just as a quick intro to what we were doing there.
Well, if the first thing that popped into my head, it was light. Right, a good photo needs light. Right, and then the second thing that popped into my head was it needs some level of output. Right, there needs to be a product at the end of it rather than just lost in the digital archive. But that's just I could go on, right? But
yeah. And you're perfectly right. That's all important for a good photo. We took that a level. We looked at this from a wider perspective, because what you will typically get in a workshop like this is mostly the craft aspects of photography. And everyone on this workshop knows that we're typically tech-focused people. I'd say 80% of them work in a tech field somehow, in IT or software development, which is what photography kind of attracts, right? Photography is a very technical thing if you look at today's cameras, or most of them. So everyone knows their cameras. They know the menus. They can get a good exposure. They can get good focus, and so on. So the craft aspect is mostly taken care of. And if you don't have that, then there's plenty of stuff on YouTube to learn that from. So, but there is a whole. There's several steps before that happen for every single photo you take, but that you won't typically do consciously. And one is, before you take a picture, you have to notice that there is a picture.
Ooh, okay.
So
yeah.
you have to see or to hear or discover, to register there is something, which creates an impulse. So something inside of you says, I want to take a picture of that. If that impulse doesn't happen, this picture won't happen. The picture will only happen if you notice, and if you have an impulse, and if you act on that impulse. Now, acting on that impulse is difficult for many people,
Right.
because everyone has that tiny inner voice that says stuff like, I don't know, you might be noticing interesting light or an unusual detail or something, and then your voice goes, it's not worth it. I've taken that one before. Everyone has taken that picture. There's nothing special. I can do that another time. Or I don't know, you do know from being on workshops and looking at videos that maybe circling a subject is a good idea to find a good angle and a good background and so on. But then that inner voice might say, you'll just embarrass yourself in front of all the other people. Or you think about waiting a bit longer to catch the perfect expression on someone, or to wait for the perfect light for a landscape shot. And then that inner voice goes, let's move on. The others are getting impatient. Daddy, are you coming? That stuff. So
Happens all the time.
it happens all the time. And so following through. First of all, having that impulse is important, and following through is the second important thing. And then you can get into the craft, which is the exposure, the focus, the composition. Even composition is a lot of craft. Like, where do I put something in a photo so it feels right, it balances nicely, and so on and so on. So, and by the way, that inner voice usually has a name. Like, for everyone, might be the name of a teacher or a sibling or a parent or something.
Oh, I see. An actual name. Oh, I wonder
an
what
actual
my
name. Yes.
An actual name. What would my inner voice be called? I think there's quite a lot of other people's voices in my life telling me I'm spending too much time doing photography. I don't know that an inner voice would get heard very much over everybody else telling me to stop it and hurry up.
And everyone has a different one, or might not even have that. I mean, it's different for everyone. But when we talked about this concept, I saw out of the 30 people in the room, there were like 25 nodding vehemently.
I get it. I do you know when I do get it, actually, that I'm less bothered about standing around. The thing I struggle with, which is similar to what a lot of people struggle with, is pointing the camera at people when I'm doing something like street photography.
And there's another voice in your mind that goes, I don't want to be a bother. Or you might not like the idea of there's being some potential confrontation or something. So in order to get to notice that first step, what do you need? You need attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
attention is one of the hardest things to get these days, because we do have our, I call it our pocket distractor with us.
Yes.
This little attention hogging rectangle that we've forgotten that you can just not take it out of your pocket when you're getting, I don't know, bored or something. So creativity, boredom, attention are so fundamentally linked to each other. And I would even go further and say attention is fundamental for good photography.
Yeah.
So
No, you have to. I mean, no, that'll work at several levels, right? But yeah,
Yes.
the most obvious level being, if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see stuff, are you? You're
And
not
there's no
gonna-
photo.
So, yeah.
And for like, I don't know, I have a nice presentation for that. So if you want to ride a bike, what do you need as a fundamental skill to ride a bike? You need balance.
You certainly do.
Without the balance, all the shifting, the gears, and all the traffic rules and everything doesn't really help you because you will fall off. Or if you, I don't know, if you want to play the trumpet, you need to be listening. Your ear needs to be developed, and then you can do scales and dynamics and I don't know, articulation and stuff. So, and how do you learn attention? Because you can learn these things. And you learn by practicing. So attention, you can learn by practicing. So we had a whole bunch of exercises around practicing attention, which
that sounds cool.
Which I was worried when I brought up this concept that the people that come to this workshop would kind of go with us on that journey.
Is that why I saw an egg in that video you showed?
So the egg is the good old egg exercise. You have heard of it. Every photographer has heard of it. I've been recommending it forever, and it's one of the oldest exercises in photography to learn about light and about composition. Because you just take an egg, you go into do it in the evening when it's dark, in a dark room, one light source like a desk lamp or something, and then compose, light it, try to see what happens if the light is close, if it's far, if it's behind it, if it's on the side. Put it in context with, I don't know, something that you have on your desk. It's one of the simplest objects, one of the least distracting objects. It's just an egg. So, and it's white. It doesn't even add any color and any distractions. So you just take that egg and you spend, I don't know, 20 minutes with it and take an interesting picture. And I have recommended that forever, but I've never really made a group do it. So.
Oh, that was the first time. Was that okay? So I did well to spot the egg then.
You did. It's one of the preparations. I got 30 eggs, as in like fake eggs, but good fake eggs, and a little LED light source, and a little extension cable, and a few things you might find helpful. A little ring you can put the egg on so it doesn't roll away. And we put these in 30 bags and handed them out and told people, okay, tonight you'll spend some time before going to bed to do some pictures of that egg. and I saw a lot of puzzled faces, but then the next day they returned photos. Well, actually 2 days later, because they were all tired the first day, but they returned such amazing photos of a simple thing like an egg with one light source. And the feedback was through the board. Everyone was like, wow, that was such an amazing exercise. And one of them said, I was planning to do one picture and then call it a night. Ended up, he said, and then I got into the flow and I spent like an hour trying this in front of different backgrounds with different angles and so on. And yeah, this was just such a wonderful thing happening there. So that's just one example of the different things we did there. And so practicing attention, practicing listening to that inner voice. It's often called mindfulness, even though lots of people combine that with, I don't know, stuff that people who are more on the technical side would probably
Hippie
not
stuff.
like, right? Hippie stuff, voodoo stuff, whatever. But it really ended up changing people's perspective, and that was good.
That
was really
sounds
good.
like a fascinating thing to have been a part of, and
Yes.
and to lead, of course, as well. But I think, I'm quite envious of all your participants now, because that would be, the chance to go away for a week to a place where phones don't work and just focus and pay attention and experiment with like-minded people. It's just
and focus on, like, especially with the projects, also focus on something that you chose. So there's a lot more of extrinsic motivation, because or no, intrinsic motivation, because you are you're kind of invested in that, especially because you'll have to present it on Friday. So there's a little competition aspect, there's a little pride aspect, a little so this whole thing ended up being one of the best ones in those 16 years.
That sounds fantastic. Tell me, I have a question for you that is perhaps comes from the professional angle of this, because one imagines that at this point it's quite straightforward to plan a workshop that says this is how you manage the exposure triangle and this is how you shoot with a flash. The crafting side of it that you mentioned, I imagine it would be significantly more effort, more rewarding as well by the sounds of it, but more effort to conceive of a workshop and an agenda that takes on those more challenging things like attention and focus and things like that.
It did. Well, the workshop has both of these things. It did still have plenty of the tech sides. We did an entire morning of working with small flashes and trying to get the tech side right. So it's not just that, it's both. And the preparations, I mean, now it's about a year ago when this whole thing started forming, or at least the first traces of it started forming. So it's not something I just set out to do. This is something that more came to me and things started to come together, make sense. And then in March we did a first round of this concept in a specialized workshops, just a weekend of that, which worked out okay. So it was kind of easier to then transfer it to that workshop, but then kind of spread it out over a week and intermix it with all the other things. So it wasn't a thing that a month before I went, I want to do something new, and then came up with it, and it just
I
just developed
totally get
over time.
that. When I try to think of these, they're not more abstract concepts. They're very tangible concepts, but it is harder to travel down that path, which is more thoughtful and deeper, isn't it? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, well done you, right? And Boris as well, of course. I don't know Boris, but I'm sure he had a big part to play in it too. That's it sounds fascinating. Did you get any new types of feedback on these new elements from the participants on these new elements to the workshop you've added?
Well, we do a feedback form at the end, and I did expect, before the workshop, I did expect some pushback, I came here to learn about available light and about composition and so on, which they got. But there's, again, the type of people coming to this specific workshop are more on the tech side. So I expected some pushback. And the surprising thing was everyone seemed relieved that something new came out. So it looks like the more tech-minded people actually, it was something that they were looking for, but they didn't know they were looking for that. So the feedback was, I'm quite happy with how this whole thing went.
Yeah,
and
well,
walking back.
that comes across in the way that you talk about it, and a big grin on your face that you've had for the last 30 minutes while we've been chatting. So.
I'm still beaming, and I mean that's what I try to get. One of my goals for this workshop is that everyone who participates ends up feeling like they got a vitamin injection that keeps them that boosts them for a few months. And but often after these workshops, I'm quite exhausted. And
but yeah, of course you are. You're working really, really hard to make sure everybody has a good time.
But this time, I was more energized than exhausted. Because so I got something new out of that for myself. So
that's great.
I guess just mixing it up and looking at things through a different lens, pun intended. Mm-hmm. It's probably a good thing every now and then.
Yeah. Well, you can't carry that tilt shift lens around everywhere for the rest of your life.
I did. I didn't.
So really interesting. As I say, I always love hearing about the Abbey Workshop every year, but the surprising things about it, the way it evolves. It sounds like I agree. It sounds like you've taken a good big step forward this year. So
I've actually done one. Oh, that must be like 9 or 10 years ago. I've done a small one in English, but.
Do you know what? I think this was before you and I met. I think I almost signed up for that because that was not far away from where I live, was it? But did you?
No, in the Abbey in southern Germany. That was a different one.
Oh, I see. So I thought you were talking about the one because I thought you meant come to England.
No, that was a different one. I did one in English, and I think we had 6 or 7 people, and the biggest problem is getting there. And because you have to fly in and then take a train and then take a taxi, and it's a bit of an ordeal to get there. It's a nature preserve. It's like really tucked away, and so yeah, I was still thinking maybe doing one of those again one day, but not for now. But it's in the back of my mind. So.
Oh well, I'll definitely be there if you do it in English. So
and the house they have like hundreds of workshops every year. So it's another thing to get one of those coveted weeks slots for your people.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
interesting. Well, thank you for telling us all about it. Fascinating stuff. I hope coming back isn't too much of a disappointment.
Culture shock. Massive culture shock. Boom. Oh, reality. Damn it.
But you can start planning next year's one now, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, that has already started. We have a date. We have a week where we there's already a bit what went well, what should we change, kind of
good old retro
document
at the end of it. Yep.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, next year is already in my mind for sure.
Cool.
So there we have it.
I promise you, I will be just as surprised next year as I am every year when this rolls around, because I know you plan it, but for me, it's always a pleasant surprise. Well, apart from the fact that we miss you when you're not here doing it, but every year this workshop surprises me. So.
And I get surprised by what people come up with every year. All right.
Excellent.
Time for the picks.
Time for some picks, yes.
I have a second video, but I'm not playing it now. We'll just link it in the show notes, and that is the calligraphy video, the asphalt painting. We made a separate video of that because the teacher, he's so nice to us, and he made our official logo for the workshop years ago, and just gave it to us to use on T-shirts and things. And so this time around, when he said we'll do something for you, and he wrote this Leonard Cohen quote on the asphalt, I said we'll make something for you, and we pulled together 4 or 5 people with cameras. We filmed the entire thing. It took 20 minutes maybe. We filmed the entire thing and then did a multi-camera edit out of those 5 cameras and 1 drone, so as all angles are covered, and put that to some nice music and made another 2-minute video out of it. for him to use as he pleases. And,
that's a nice gift. Yeah, a good way to give back.
Not for the listening crowd, because again, it's just music you will hear. But for everyone else, just check it out. Link is in the show notes.
Yep.
All right, what did you bring us?
I bought you a software release. Software release of what is currently my favourite, and as for many years it's been right up there, quite frankly, my favourite piece of software right now, which is Blackmagic Design's DaVinci Resolve.
Video
version
editing
20 is out. In fact, it's been out in public beta for a little while, but it's just in the last week gone into full release. So lots of fantastic stuff in here. I haven't even scratched the surface of it yet, because I only downloaded it yesterday, but there's quite a slug of new things today. In terms of the things that might be interesting to our listeners, things that are perhaps a bit more about individual creativity rather than the enterprise level, how do you make a Hollywood movie with a team across the world. There's some good stuff around things like masking and trackers and how to do the sound design and you manage your audio and stuff like that. So there's quite a few good points for individual users like me.
So I'm still a Final Cut Pro user because I bought it and it's well integrated into the system and so on. Just to so everyone understands, DaVinci Resolve is by Blackmagic. It's a full-fledged video editing suite that Hollywood movies are made on. And the free version, as I understand it, is quite complete. There's lots of stuff in the free version. And if you... different from a lot of software these days, you can just buy it for £260, I think.
Yes, I think they had tax. It's about 300 of whatever's, right? So once you sort out all the taxes, I think that.
So it's one time. It's you buy the box, so to speak. You don't have to have a subscription and pay every month.
No,
you can just buy it
and all the upgrades are within that are unpaid upgrades as well. If you do buy it, I have the free version. I am tempted to buy it. A few years back.
What are you missing from the full version?
Well, one of the things I was missing historically was the ability to edit 4K in the... you could edit but not export 4K in the free version. But that's changed. And I don't know when it changed. Certainly it's not this version. Version 19, which I've been using recently, allows you to edit and export 4K as well.
I mean, it's such a powerful package.
So some of the transitions, there's a good selection of transitions between scenes, between shots that it get in the free version. But some of those are not available. Some of the special effects type stuff less available. But Fusion, which is the compositing tool that is somewhat similar to how you might use or what you might do in After Effects if you're an Adobe user, that is fully working. I'm trying to learn that at the moment. That's a deep thing. They have an audio suite which is named Fairlight, which to you and I, Chris, of course, will not be any confusion at all. There's a name steeped in history.
Yes.
But for those that don't know, that Fairlight was some of the original samplers, hardware-based samplers in the early 80s, maybe.
Yes.
Fairlight,
really expensive.
Horrendously expensive, as in buy a house expensive. In those days, and could sample all of about.
So they
a second
borrowed
and a
that
half
name.
of audio.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the audio module is called the Fairlight module. Lots of. Huge amounts of stuff in there for those that use Lightroom for their photography editing and are used to stepping through a camera raw phase and then a develop phase, and then I can't remember what all the phases are in Lightroom.
It's just a phase.
It's just a phase, but DaVinci Resolve works in that way as well. So you have a media manager element of it. You have then what they call the cut and the edit, which is where you pull together the various different timelines of your videos and build them. You have Fusion for special effects, Fairlight for audio, and then export the color. Don't forget color, which is something that
which is what that whole thing is founded on, I guess.
It is,
color
yes.
was the kind of the original use case for Resolve, as far as I know.
And has some of the most amazing coloring tools.
And this is not a sponsored segment, by the way. It's just a piece of free software, which of course helps them sell their hardware. So there's good reason they're doing that. But I know a lot of people now that use it. So
yeah. So
do I want to relearn an entire new suite of things? I'm not sure.
I was not fully steeped in any one editing suite, not a fully functioning one anyway. I played with LumaFusion over the years on the iPad, which works on Macs now. CapCut more recently, which is a lot of really good stuff all in one place, but you find the boundaries of it eventually. So I'm just having fun. Anyway, sorry, yes, it does sound like a sponsored section, doesn't it? But I'm just having fun with it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Latest version 20 is out now.
Yes.
Cool. Very cool. Well, I might go and have a play. I'm just upgrading to a slightly bigger computer. So
a bigger computer. Oh, well, you've been running your whole setup on a MacBook Air for
it's
a while.
It's a MacBook Air M2. Yeah. I'm getting an M4. So
I'll be interested to hear how that goes.
A little bit more oomph, but then that's all I need. I need a boost of some of the speeds and things. But
yeah, I'd be interested to. We should do at least a partial show on that when you've got it and you've got it sorted out and how to go. I was looking at those the other day. I'm on a MacBook Pro M1 still at the moment, which I'm finding perfectly adequate. Although I did have to clean it up the other day because the disk got full.
Yeah, mine I just. And that's when my network cut out, right in the middle of the recording, and it wouldn't come back for 10-15 minutes, so I'm sorry. But we were right at the end of the episode anyway, so you will find out more about the new computer in good time. A week or two probably. And that was it. I'm Chris, and this was The Future of Photography. We'll be back soon with more. Until then, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Future of Photography. Join the discussion on our Discord, find the show notes and all episodes at thefutureofphotography.com, and subscribe wherever you listen to audio.